This is Terrence Banks from Information Age Financial Solutions coming to you today talking to you about the millennials. And the millennials are now the largest population that supersedes the baby boomers. And the problems they're facing, in addition to student loans and lack of jobs, are becoming even more, more worse by the day. And I read an article from Zero Hedge, a quarter of millennials living at home neither work nor study. The reason why this article really struck my attention, I should say, is because I've done several different videos about the pension problems that the baby boomers are facing. With them retiring 10,000 strong each and every day, and they're already having issues with the pensions going on, this population is supposed to, somehow, they're going to offset that population to sell their particular goods and services with, because nothing exists in the vacuum. So if one population is having issues, that's going to affect the next generations coming forward. And with the quarter millions living at home, neither work nor study, I mean, that just shows you right there. 25% of that population is not actually living at home or either working or studying. The situation is even more dire than I can imagine. Let me just read a couple of excerpts from this. At one point in time, America, living at home with mom and dad after crossing out of your teenage years and into your 20s was embarrassing and something that was generally avoided at all costs. And while hard times come and go, 20-somethings who were forced back into their parents' care worked their tails off until they could save up money enough to once again regain their freedom. But these days, millennials seem to be embracing the free room and board provided by their parents. This is giving the impression that that somehow it's millennials' fault that they're taking free room and board. Now, I don't think that's what Tyler Durden had in mind, but he mentioned that. But he's just saying that, well, not having this population have any responsibility, and if you got that many people, Nigel, how are they going to be able to support you in your latter years? According to a new study from the Census Bureau, roughly 1/3 of all millennials living at home with their parents, and 1/4 of them can't be bothered with enrolling in school or finding a job. According to the following chart from Bloomberg, there are 2.2 million millennials who live at home with mom, but neither attend classes nor have a job. Of those, 40% of them are already in their 30s. They're predominantly white and have a high school diploma or less. Now, that's just something striking right there. Of them, 40% of them are already in their 30s. They're predominantly white and have a high school diploma or less. Who lives at home without working or going to school? And I'm going to, hopefully the advertisement let me scroll down a little bit here. Look at this. Look at this chart here. High school diploma or less, associate's degree to some college or less. And this is just pointing out who's actually staying home. The reason why it's not funny. It's really sad, and it's going to be a problem because, again, someone is looking for someone to take care of them. And in this case, the millennials are, you're thinking that once you get to a certain age, especially if you're not a parent, I'm just speaking from my perspective, I can't imagine not equipping my kids with some level of skill so they can be able to support themselves and also help me, because we live in a different world. But I digress again. Look at this. Almost 9 in 10 young people who were living with their parents home a year ago are still living there today, making the most stable living arrangement for young adults. The report said in 2005, the majority of young people live independently in their own household, either alone with a spouse or an unmarried partner. This is in 2000, that's just 10 years ago. But after that crash, it changed our whole dynamic, which was the predominant living arrangement in 35 states. By 2015, just a decade later, only 6 states had a majority of young people living independently. That's a major move in about 10 years. So let's continue on with the article itself. I got some advertisement here, so works with me when I scroll down a little bit more, because the article is definitely one that you should be reading and paying attention to. And he has a lot of advertisements here, but that was pretty much what the article stated. I can't say enough about that, because if you're one of the millennials staying home and relying on your parents without bringing any income in or finding some way to support yourself, you're not only affecting them, but they're going to be squeezed in the coming years, because eventually they're going to have to be told that the money that we're receiving can't be sustained. And with that population now moved into the first spot of being the largest population going forward. Most of the things are going to be based on how they move things, because population controls potentially economies. So if a quarter of millennials living at home neither work nor study, and somehow, some way, where the baby boomers are not being told that things are going to have to be cut, your 401k is going to be around there, Social Security is going to be around there, and which is impossible just in terms of just a strictly number base, this is going to end badly. So again, if you're one of the baby boomers and you have your children living at home and not pushing them to find some level way to support themselves, you're doing a disservice not only to them, definitely to yourself. And millennials, it's not, if someone's allowing you to do that, you got to have a good conscience to know that you need to support yourself as well. This is Terrence Banks with Information Age Financial Solutions. Comment back, leave some feedback if this has been any assistance for you or any help. And until my next video, I'm out.